Okay, so this is the elements of art. This is the section on the elements of art. Since we're not in a TV studio, I hope you don't expect like the prime video here. All I want to show you is some very basics. We're going to show you slideshows in the site to demonstrate the different concepts here. Let me just say though, the thing that the first choice an artist makes is the surface and the frame, the format that the artist wants to work in. Now, I'm going to focus on three-dimensional format. I'm sorry, we're going to focus on the two-dimensional format. And to do that, I've got a surface, the pictorial surface. This is the area on which the artwork happens. This outer perimeter is called the frame, the pictorial frame, not to be confused with the fancy gold thing that we might put around our artwork, but the actual perimeter that the artist has to work in. Many beginner artists will take a piece of paper and they'll start down here. They'll disregard the fact that all of this is the surface, and so this little area becomes their frame of reference. But I want to talk about using the whole area. I'm going to go through the different elements quickly here. Now, the first element that we're introduced to is the concept of line. That's a line. I'm using my charcoal stick, the most basic, primitive art-making tool. So, line. We can think of a line of poetry, we can think of a line of music, we can think of a fishing line. All these things relate to this very concept, the idea of going from here to there. Now we can see a line as moving, or we can see a line as static. In this case, it looks like a static line, just sort of lies there. It's interesting, if I put just an element next to line, already this surface seems to activate with space, right? This seems above, this seems to become a horizon perhaps, and this seems to be the ground. Remember in that developmental sequence, children moving into that pre-symbolism stage and looking for the baseline, starting to draw their characters right here along this thing, which mentally they form that concept. Oh yes, there's an up and there's a down in the world. There's a gravity in the world. They want to use this as their baseline. So I've moved this line up to somewhere in just about 2/3 of the way up. It becomes the symbol for a horizon. It's no longer just a line. Lines that let's see here. This is a chamois. It's a little piece, the same thing you wash your car with. You can use it in charcoal drawing as a kind of painterly tool. And I always teach students to draw over your mistakes. That's the way you form. So in this case, I'm going to draw over my drawing here. And there's another line. There's another line. There's another line. And if I enclose those, I get a shape, right? And it's a shape, it's a square. In fact, this is our circle, and that's our square. Interestingly enough, to create a sense of depth, artists do things like they'll use linear perspective. Here's a vanishing point, and you can attach things to the vanishing point, lines to the vanishing point, and already get the illusion of a three-dimensional object. Oops, a little more. Right. If I put a square down here, and again I attach my lines, dotted lines in this case, to that vanishing point, and I connect them. Let's see. You get an illusion of a three-dimensional object. That's one way that an artist can create the illusion of three dimensions with line. Let's just see here. Look, if I provide a little color or darkness down here, I get a sense of space too. This becomes really a giant. Oh, there we go. I want to do this quickly. I'm going to show you slideshow. So let's see. I have a shape. If I put something else behind it, already it seems like there's a differentiation. Again, if I put one shape and another shape together, it looks like there's a distance between these two things. It's also a way of creating the illusion of space. It's called overlapping. You have one shape. In a way, this is just a crescent, isn't it? It's just this. Just a crescent. But as soon as I complete and connect these things, they look like they overlap. Bing, 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 bing. Okay? The other way I can create a sense of depth is by having something interpenetrate. So here we go. And then I have this, and I bring it out there. And that also gives a sense, so getting down a little further. There's a sense of this line interpenetrating that shape. Line, shape, let's see. Oh, lines, there can be different kinds of lines, right? There's a nice thin line. There's a thick line. There's a squiggly line. There's a hectic line, a rough line. All these different qualities of line. Artists use different qualities of line. There's also this thing called an applied line. Let me just see here. Well, already there's this sense of things going diagonal here. And there's this relationship here. Maybe I can fill in here something. Let's see. I'm drawing over my mistakes here. They're not so much mistakes anymore. Alright, so there is the beginning of what seems to be a face, right? Can you see that? Let's see it. Now, if I continue with my line, there we go. And if I put lines over here, then I begin to imply that there's this shape there. And the shape looks more and more like a face, doesn't it? A face, a head. I can just put this here, and I've got a shoulder. You see how artists with line, they just can build illusion so quickly. Let's just see what I can do. Draw over my mistakes. Now what I have is a tinted surface. Artists will often, in fact, the Renaissance artists would paint over their canvases the very first thing with a tint. It could be a light gray tint or a sienna tint, and then paint on top of that to build up. The thing that differentiate them, we'll learn more about this from the Impressionists. The Impressionists in the later, the end of the 19th century, painted on white. Their idea was the white, the sunlight would come through the pigment and reflect back. The Renaissance artists were more about building up on surface upon surface. So that's that. Let's just see. Line, shape, the texture and the quality of line. Now there's actual texture. The texture of the texture of this bag, right? The texture as created in a painting is something that's called implied. So, let's see, I have a shape here. Let me just draw myself a bag. Let's see here. This thing coming over here. And give it a little wiggly line just to give it that crumpled sense. And I'm getting at a bag here. And I'm coming back, and then there we go. Okay, there's a bag. And I want to give it a sense of being crumpled. So I'm going to just try to provide a few lines to give it a shape. Again, I build up with other lines, massing lines. I mass lines to help bring out that shape. Right? A little hatching. Hatching lines are lines that are, let's get a little more here. You see my bag? I don't know if you can see my bag yet. Let's see, that's pretty good. All right, so hatching lines are lines that come together like this to form areas of shade. You can see that? Let's see. Hatching. And when hatching overlaps like that, it's called cross-hatching. And you can see artists using that to build up depth and shadow. Artists use placement. If they place something down here, and they place something up here, there's a relationship. There's also a sense of dominance. This is larger. This shape seems to be dominating, this bag shape, in all of this composition. I'm going to put a bottle in there. See how I can draw over my mistakes and build a composition. Doesn't really matter. There's my bottle. I'm coming up with some sort of still life here. And I want to give that bottle a sense of shine, so I'm going to leave a little part of it, just a little part of it flashing white. So there's a little white there, gives a little sense. Get this on my bag. There we go. Okay? No, this is like kind of a Sunday afternoon public broadcasting art show, I think. But I just want to give you these different elements and how they go together to build up form. Well, that's form. Let's see. Form, again, we are talking about two dimensions. The pictorial surface, the thing that on which the art happens, and the pictorial frame. And this is called the pictorial space. And the illusion of depth that an artist gives is related to that pictorial space. When an artwork seems to go forever off to the horizon and beyond, we call it, what do we call it? Infinite space. If an artist builds an abstraction right up on the surface, and there doesn't seem to be like the illusion of going into the canvas, it's called flat space. Modern artists often use composition technique called all-over composition, where all the elements are arranged so much on the surface all over that there is no sense of one area being dominant over another, and the quality of the artwork is the quality of the surface. I want to talk about three-dimensional form just briefly. Here's an artwork, a little sculpture made out of soapstone. It's called Eyeball Girl, and you can see why. There's the eyeball. And as I turn it around here, we can talk about the form. We can talk about the lines that create this shape. That's the artist taking actually cubic space and creating this illusion within what's basically a square. And that. Okay, let me just see. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, tonality. Tonality, the sense of brightness to darkness. Now I've created tonality here. I have this very black, and that seems to send things to the back. And I have a mid-grade here, and I have this little flash of light. Let's see. I can't flash light anymore. Let's just see. I'll have to use a white chalk here. Yeah, it brings us a little more forward, doesn't it? In fact, just quickly here, you can see that brings that into being more of a spherical shape. And I'll give a little more shine here, there, and that sort of creates this sense of dimensionality. So what value is, tone and value. You can think of tone in music as well. There's this sense of dark to light with gradations. Let's just see here. That goes from very dark to white. Well, what I'd like to say white. I'm so dirty now. My hands are all dirty. But these are line, shape, texture, form, brightness or darkness, value. Also call it tonality. And we're going to go into color. But I'm going to show you something else for color in the psych. So this is enough for now, I think. Right? Any questions? Oh yes, you in the back? And the reason why I'm looking down instead of up at the camera is because I forgot to look up at the camera. There, see, I'm looking at the camera now. Yes, that's a good question. Yes, you know what? You're right. This very YouTube space here is a pictorial space. And in photography, of course, there is a sense of light and dark. There's this sense of texture. All the things that we do, in fact, in drawing, done digitally, automatically, through film. It's a whole revolution after the 19th century and the invention of film. Anyone else? Oh yeah. Drawing on a three-dimensional surface creates two levels of reality. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so any other questions, of course, you can email or text me or whatever. You in the back? Oh, well, I will try to come up with other films, but this is kind of a funky thing, and I hope you enjoyed it. All right, goodbye.